To build any module, we need to be in module mode, by clicking the module mode button. The COM radio is going to be half the default module size, so we need to change the width from 1024 to 512. Since most of the parts will be white, and hard to see with a transparent background, we will temporarily set the background color to gray. First, we will add a white rectangle to act as a border. Next we will add a black background as a place to hold the displays. Next we will add the main COM display, and set the size to increase the number of digits. Since this is a COM radio, we need to set the decimal places to 3. Optionally, we can add a plastic cover effect to the display. We repeat our previous actions for the standby display. Next we add some text to identify the displays. Next we will add a swap button. Now we will add 2 rotaries, one to increase the non-fractional digits, and the other to increase the fractional digits. To be able to add a component on top of another component, the existing component must have its gestures disabled. You may be wondering how the bottom rotary can be used if its gestures are disabled, let alone how 2 components on top of each other could be used on a touchscreen effectively. To manage this situation, we add another button that can toggle enabling the gestures between the 2 rotaries. We will use a barely visible push button for this job. This barely visible push button now needs to be linked to the 2 rotaries to indicate it controls them. Do this by clicking and dragging a gray connector to another component's gray connector. Note that the orange links do not show up when in use. We can now move on to configuring the module with its default settings. First, we need to go into config mode by clicking the config mode button. Modules can only be configured with default settings by using snippets. All snippets are listed down the right-hand side. You can create new snippets in module mode, but only standard flight sim data can be used, nothing aircraft specific. E.g. default SimConnect events or default X-plane commands. You assign a snippet to a component by selecting the component, and then either double-clicking the desired snippet, or choosing the snippet from the drop-down list. We have assigned the toggle gestures snippet to the barely visible button. Now when this button is pressed, it will toggle enabling the gestures between any connected components, in this case, our two rotaries. To show you what a snippet actually is, we will edit the toggle gestures snippet. There are two selectable states, pressed and unpressed. As we can see, when this button is pressed, it sends the toggle gestures enabled on linked components event, or command in X-plane. There is no variable or data ref to configure, as it would be pointless for a push button. Now we can assign the remaining snippets to the rest of the components. Optionally, you can add a lit method. Since this is a COM radio, it makes sense to assign avionics power as the lit method. This indicates that the displays should only light up when avionics power is available. Finally, we will change the background to transparent, and then name and save the module. This concludes our tutorial. I hope you found it useful.